Hi guys, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. Guys, this is my monthly favorites. Hope you're well. I haven't done these in a while. I didn't really do one last month. I kind of did. I did a wrap up. Anyway, I have a lot to get through. I've watched a lot of TV. I've gotten very much back into movies ever since 31 Days of Horror. So I'm excited to get into that with you. First, I'm just gonna address the elephant in the room. Check out this amazing shirt. I got this from Loudmouth Threads. I'll link them down below. Super cool guy who does all the designs. And this is their Hereditary shirt. I got it in a large men's because I like wearing these shirts to bed and just wearing them as dresses and just, you know, living in them, camping out. So that's where I got this. I know I'd get the question, so I thought I'd just answer that now. But let's jump in to what I watched. Let's start on Letterboxd. My name is Spooky Astronaut there, no S. At the start of the month, wow, I started off with a bang. This is 8th grade. This is one of the A24 films. If you don't know, I have a Patreon. There's a link down below. I don't really talk about it because it's kind of small and I like it that way, but you're welcome to join. We're doing a challenge right now where we try and watch as many A24 films as possible. We're having a little party. So I decided I'd watch this one because it was rated quite highly. And this film is fucking amazing. I'm just gonna say that. This film is about a young girl. She is in the 8th grade. She is really socially awkward and she's just like everyone in the 8th grade, but it's just amazing and sad but true. And the way it's put together is the most interesting part about it because it's not like a drama. It's kind of really realistic for someone her age, seeing her through social media, seeing her be awkward, and it's not like a glossy movie. You know when you watch those movies and those girls are just like all done up in the 8th grade? She's gotten like acne prone skin. She's feeling really left out. She's lonely. She's struggling. She's hardcore struggling and I feel the struggle. Anyway, then I watched The Human Centipede. You guys know The Human Centipede. I'm a big fan. I'm gonna leave it at that. Then I watched Tusk. If you haven't seen Tusk, you need to see Tusk. One of my favorite Kevin Smith films. Everyone hates it. I love it. End of story. Actually, Vicky loves it. Shout out to my girl, Vicky. We did a Does This Offend You on The Human Centipede and Tusk. I loved it. Probably my favorite episode so far. Anyway, if you don't know what Does This Offend You is, it is a stream that Nightmare and Maven and I do, alternating on each other's channels about, yeah, offensive horror movies, I guess. I then watched Spring Breakers. This is a A24 film. This is that one with James Franco. I don't even, like, the stylization of this is so off to what I thought it was gonna be about. Yeah, it's fucking weird. It's got Selena Gomez, Vanessa Hudgens. It is weird. It is about some girls who go on spring break and, yeah, they fall in love with this rapper. I don't know how to explain it because it's not as straightforward as I thought it was gonna be. It's definitely a trip and it's well worth the watch, I think. If you're into like a trippy zone out, if you smoke weed, this will probably be a great movie, but I don't smoke weed, so it just freaked me out. Okay, then I watched The Obvious Child, which is another A24 film, which is kind of like a comedy romantic drama. I'm just realizing this is definitely the wrong film, but it's still called the same thing and I'm pretty sure it's from the same year. But it is about a girl, I'll have to fix that later, sorry guys. It is about a comedian who is kind of navigating through life when she has like a sexual encounter with someone. I don't want to say what it's actually about because I remember the blurb and it kind of gives away something. I think it's an okay movie, it wasn't great. I then watched Lock, which, wow. Tom Hardy driving in the car. You know how like buried is Ryan Reynolds in the, what do you call it, in the grave the whole time? This one is an amazing movie, psychological I guess you would say, about a guy who is driving to London to go meet with a lady he's had a sexual encounter with. He's married and she's having a baby. So he's like there and then he has to like call his wife and tell her on the way. Yeah, so he's going to go meet his like child for the first time and he has to tell his wife and deal with some work issues and deal with some personal issues. It's a fucking amazing movie. You should check it out. I'm not doing it justice. His Welsh accent though, that was very confusing. Okay, then I watched Into the Forest, which is another A24 film. You're gonna get this a lot, guys. All of these A24 films. Into the Forest is a great movie because it has Ellen Page and has Rachel Evan Wood. Both great actresses. Storyline's a little bit trigger warning. There is some sexual conduct in there that is not consenting. It is about two girls who get stuck in the woods when the end of the world kind of happens, but it doesn't happen in a zombie way. It's just power outage and it's everyone for themselves. It's very moving, and yeah, I thought it was quite good. I liked it. I really liked it. I then watched The Laggies, which I've never been a fan of Keira Knightley until watching this. She is like this woman who is so out of her element where she is in life. She really wants to go back a bit, and so she gets that opportunity and she hangs out with Chloe for a bit. It also has Sam Rockwell in it. This is just a kind of a laugh movie, but I thought it was like fun. But yeah, it's just, you know, when someone's having their midlife crisis, really, that's what it's about. Or quarter life, I would say, maybe. Then I watched Ginger and Rosa, which, oh my God, Ellie Fanning is just like hurting my feelings these years. She and her friend, revolutionist girls in like the 60s, yeah, the 60s, and her dad's a pedophile. Don't bother. Okay, and then I watched Imposter, which you guys know I did a rant on that, wasn't a fan. Then I watched Cam straight afterwards, which blew my mind. Would recommend. I have a review on that. I then watched Boy Erased, which is a movie about a conversion therapy camp. I would say camp program. I would say it's an Australian film. I'm gonna say it's Australian, but it's American. But Joel Edgerton is in it. He directed it, and it also has Nicole Kidman, Russell Crowe, who you can have actually, he's not ours, and Troye Sivan, who's I think from Perth. So a lot of Aussies in that, so I'm claiming it. Interesting movie, hard to watch. It's a memoir, so you can't really be that harsh with memoirs because they're someone else's story. And if it happened that way, then that's fucked up. And I'm sure it did happen that way. I'm just saying you really can't talk about stylization in those films. I think it's something so personal, and I try not to comment too much on that. But amazing educational film about someone else's point of view. It really hit me hard in my soul. And yeah, it wasn't a good night's sleep after that, but it's a great movie and you should watch it. I then watched this comedian. She has this special. I wonder if this is on Netflix in your country. You need to let me know. This is your challenge. You need to let me know if Nanette is on Netflix in your country. This is a stand-up show that goes completely off the rails. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it. It was such a big thing when it first came out here. It is about an LGBT woman who just wants to speak out about self-deprecating comedy, and I think that it is amazing and sad and just real. It's just so real. And there's a lot of stuff I've been watching lately is about this kind of thing, so it really fell into theme with me. And if that sounds mildly interesting to you at all, I highly recommend you watching it, and I hope it's in your country. I then watched 13 Ghosts. I watched this with my patrons. It was a laugh. I still like this movie. It's really bad, but I think it's really good at the same time. Like it's the bad good. It's got the good bads. It's the 90s, guys. It's the 90s horror. I can't help it. Speaking of, I watched The Witches at a rooftop cinema, and the director died the next day. I don't even know what to say about that, which is awful and very sad. But the movie just, it holds up so well, and it was just all of my childhood coming back in pieces of little mice and perfume bottles, and it was just beautiful, and I'm really interested to see the remake. If you haven't seen The Witches, I'm really sorry about your childhood. Maybe you can do something to fix it now. Watch it. I then watched Bohemian Rhapsody, which again, someone else's story. I can't comment on that. I can comment on the fact that I have been told that the timeline is very off. I don't want to say too much because it's going to piss some people off. I wasn't a huge fan of the lead and the way they did the teeth. I sleep. You guys will know this actually. I've got proof in the pudding. You guys go way back on my channel, and I've had the Freddie Mercury poster in my background for ages. It's right next to my bed, and I wake up next to the outline of his face every morning, and he just doesn't look like that. I know that you can't get someone who always looks like the person, but I mean, Aileen Wuornos and Monster, come on. But I don't know, it just threw me off the teeth. It was just really bugging me. And I know that's nitpicky. I will say the music was great. The band was amazing. The acting was superb. And I did like it. I was tapping, I was singing. I gave it a 7. Not a bad score. I was just, yeah, there was just a couple of things that kept me from like singing its praises, but I was still singing for days. I then watched First Reformed, which is the fucking weirdest movie. It's another A24 film. This one is Ethan Hawke and Amanda Seyfried, and I always gonna say the names both ways because you guys kill me either way, it doesn't matter to me. This is really interesting because she is pregnant in this movie and her husband, is depressed, and she comes to the pastor, which is Ethan Hawke, and talks about her problems, and then they go to space. I wish I was joking. You need to watch it. It's a fucking weird movie, and I don't know it because I was watching it in the background while I was doing other stuff that I probably didn't give it as much justice, but it just wasn't for me. But it was very interesting. It definitely took it places. I then watched The Imposter, which I will highly recommend to you. This is one of my favorite documentaries of all time, and I'd only seen it once before and I loved it, and I was like obsessed with it for years. And then it was a lazy Sunday and I was sitting there doing nothing, and I thought I'll just chuck something on. Saw this and I thought, man, I need to rewatch that and see if the hype is real. My own hype, of course. That's all I live for, my own hype. I'm joking, guys. And this movie is fucking amazing. The story will blow you away. Don't look into it. I'm not gonna just tell you anything about it. If you see that blurb, don't look at that, don't look at that. But the way they put it together is even more amazing because they use this mix of reenactment with the direct interviews. Sounds like every other documentary you've ever seen, but trust me, it's not. The way they do it is so clever and so smart, and the storytelling on this is just the most amazing thing you'll ever see. This is how you do storytelling with I mean a great story, but little to no source vision, I would say. Like, the interviews are great, but other than that, they just made everything work and tie and arc so beautifully, and you need to watch it because at the end of it, you'll be like, who do I trust in life? And that's what makes it great. I then watched 14 Cameras, which I saw 13 Cameras. 14 Cameras was fucking awful, and I do not recommend it. I think one of you guys asked me about this. I hated it, but a lot of you guys like it. I see you're watched by. I love following you guys back. Anyone who follows me, I'll follow you back because I like seeing your scores on things, and I think that's really fun to have that as a community. One thing about this movie that really stumps me is the fact that there's two directors. They needed 2 directors for this film. This film is trash. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's like watching this fucking disgusting pedophile for, you know, 90 minutes just like sniff panties, and like it just makes you want to throw up in your own mouth. And they did all this stuff for 13 Cameras. They did the toothbrush scene. It was just the same shit over and over, and it was just more disgusting this time, but not even in a, not alluring disgusting, that's weird, not even in a, like, I don't know, like, not fascinating. Fascinating still sounds like positive. Not even in a like pushing, like a, you know, envelope pushing disgusting. It was just weird and stupid. Anyway, then I watched Stink, which is a movie about toxins in our clothing, in everything. It's just about everything in our lives that can kill us. Pretty much everything that can give you cancer. I thought it gave me some information that I hadn't thought about, but it wasn't a great put together documentary. Okay, have I got a Thanksgiving film for you? This film follows a estranged mother, sister, family member who goes back to her family, and everything goes downhill and stays downhill and hurts you downhill. It's also directed by Trey Edward Schultz, who is in the film, but he also directed It Comes at Night. So very interesting. And I was looking up all these facts in this film. Every character is pretty much named by their real name. And then there also is like family members that are connected. You can tell by their last names. And it's also based on a short. So it's very like, there must be a huge story behind it, and you can tell because there's a lot of soul in that. Highly recommend. That's what I watched this month. For you guys, I recommend 8th Grade for sure. Some of you guys will like Into the Forest. I do recommend obviously I recommend Cam. Like, that's my number one. That's one of my favorite movies this year. Boy Erased, Nanette, Boy Raised in Nanette, if you're feeling like learning and just really taking in some emotion and feeling it. And then I recommend The Imposter for sure, for your life to be, you know, twisted upside down. And then Creeshow if you can handle it. So there's a lot of emotional movies I watched this month, but it was good. It was really good. It was a really good month for movies for me. But TV, let's talk about that. So Dean and I finally started watching the anime version of Death Note. It took us a while. And I have to say, it's exactly like the movie. And when I'm talking about movie, I'm talking about the Japanese movie. Don't freak out. So we're kind of halfway through that, but it's just kind of the same thing, but long form. So that's fun, I guess. I then watched The Sinner 2, which you would have seen my review. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. We also watched Making a Murderer Season 2, which I don't think was as good as Season 1 in the way it's produced, but I do think it's more factual and there's a lot of information in there, so I think that was really good. And then I watched Unreal Season 3 and Season 4. I know, I've been watching a lot, guys. I got right back onto it. If you haven't seen Unreal before, it's a TV show that is based on like a Bachelor-esque, like a Bachelor show, but it's about the production behind it, and it's really dark, it's really gritty, and it's about this character called Rachel and her relationship with her kind of mentor character who's called Quinn. Rachel is a showrunner, Quinn is like the producer, and they're trying to like produce the characters into doing really fucked up shit, which are like, you know, they're real people, and it's really gritty and disgusting and disturbing and amazing. Season 4 took it too far though. There's no coming back for that from me, and that's how I feel about Unreal. I just needed to binge something that was so different after watching 31 Days of Horror, so I watched those 2 seasons in like 3 days straight after it. I'm a normal person. Some cool things I definitely want to talk to you about. My Patreon Linus, hi Linus if you're watching, my friend from Sweden, he has this amazing short film that he produced, directed, produced, acted in. It's so cool. It's called Blot. It's like a gaming, I don't want to give away too much, but it's a gaming horror, and I really want you guys to check it out. It will give you a laugh, I promise. I promise. It is creative, and you can really see all of the thought, and I just can't believe how much detail he put into doing his first short. Like normally when someone does their first short, it's like a 5-minute kind of detail, but he's really set up all the shots, set up the character arc, and yeah, it works well. So please check that out. I'll leave that link down below. Quickly, Instagram. I just wanted to mention that I have an Instagram. I know I mention this every time, but we've come up with a fun thing about it. A reason for you guys to come over is that I do lives quite a bit there, at least like once or twice a week, sometimes even 3 or 4. But we've started a game where I come up with a movie and then I give you hints, and then we play, you know, guess that movie. And it's really fun. I know it sounds really weird, but I will give you like certain hints, like it is foreign, it's from the 90s, it has an animal theme, and it's a really fun, like, I don't know why, I just have fun doing it, and you guys seem to love it. So if you want to be part of that, all you have to do is go over to Spooky Astronauts on Instagram and follow me, and then you'll get like a notification when I go live. Please come join. Something you guys can get really excited for is 12 Days of Christmas is back. Yes, I'm doing it again this year. There's 12 days, and in each day I open a present, and inside is a movie that I haven't reviewed before. I could have seen it before. It might be one of your favorites. It might have been a film you never heard of. It's very exciting, and that will commence as of the 20th of December. But before then, don't worry, I have some really exciting stuff coming up. On the 8th of December at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be featured on Dino, who is the Late Late Horror Show, on his channel, and we'll be talking about movies that involve cults. I'll leave that link down below, and be sure to come over and say hi. And then for those who've been asking, yes, we are doing a Does This Offend You this month, and it's gonna be on my channel. It's gonna be a Christmas special. Me and Vicky have 2 movies that are just gonna blow your mind. So we'll see you on the 14th of December on my channel at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do have a mission, and it's just a mission that I want you to provide me some feedback. I am going to, as of next year, change up my schedule. I'm still gonna do 2 videos a week, don't worry, but I'm thinking about moving them. So normally I put mine up at Friday 4 a.m., which I guess is like the evening on Thursday to you. I'm thinking I'm gonna move that one day forward. So I'll be doing it, so like Saturday 4 a.m., which will be like Friday night. Let me know if these times, what they are to you. And then my other one usually comes out on Monday 4 a.m., which I guess is Sunday evening for a lot of you guys. Let me know, does it matter to you guys at all what time my videos come out? I don't know, you might like wait for them, maybe you don't. Sometimes I watch people and I wait for their videos or expect them to be up. What time suits you guys? I've just randomly gone with that time and I've always just stuck to it, but there's no rhyme or reason to it. But next year I'm changing up my schedule to have a little bit of a better work balance life. So I'm thinking if I push that back, then I'll push my other video back. I know I'm talking a lot of this, but I need to do a lot of this so I know a lot of this, you know, so I can make more of this. I hope you guys are having a great day. I've linked a whole bunch of stuff down below. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, go ahead. There's 2 new videos every single week. So that's a good reason to subscribe. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys very soon. Stay spooky. Bye.